All right, everyone. Well, let's jump in. If you are a therapist and you are not trained in seeing couples, I really want to invite you into this conversation because Terry Real is here, who's probably one of the most renowned couples therapists in the entire world. And he's going to share a little bit about how he gets couples through some of the hardest things that they go through, how he sees couples who are on the brink of breaking up and want to save their relationship, and a little bit about how he teaches therapists on how to do that. So thanks so much, Terry, for being here.
It's really a pleasure, Zach. It's always great to be with you.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I'm Zach Taylor. I'm the director of Psychotherapy Networker. I would imagine that's most of you don't know that. And in the next 20 or 25 minutes, we're going to chat with Terry a little bit about how to become a couples therapist, some of the exciting trainings he's got coming up, and a little bit about how he works. And if you've got a question or a comment for Terry, wherever you're watching this, if you're live, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and we'll see it right here. If you're just watching the replay, obviously we can't answer your questions then. And if you want any proof that Terry Real is one of the coolest couples therapists in the world, in his latest book called Us, which was a New York Times bestseller, Bruce Springsteen wrote the foreword to this thing, talking about how Terry helped him, how much he helped him personally and in his marriage, which is super cool. How did Bruce come to write the foreword to your latest book?
I was doing a talk in. Oh, forgive me. I'm getting these public service alerts from Massachusetts. Unbelievable.
This is a live
I
event. I hope everything's okay.
was doing something for Carol Gilligan, a great friend and a bright light in women's studies at NYU. And a mutual friend called me and said, I'm going to make your day. Oh, okay. There's a couple in New Jersey who are reading my first book, I don't want to talk about it, to each other aloud in bed every night. And they're coming just to shake your hand and tell you what fans they are. And I said, well, that's really great. That makes my day. He said, no, no, this is what's going to make your day. It's Bruce and Patty Springsteen. So they came and we went out for what turned out to be about a 4-hour lunch. And then, as Bruce, I can talk about it because he does. They asked me to work with them as a couple, and that was the beginning of a almost 20-year relationship.
That's really cool. That's really great. You know, Terry, one of my biggest problems being a couples therapist is really getting down to what, and you're going to laugh at me, but what's the real problem we're actually dealing with? Because most couples, especially those who are really on the brink, um, the hardest part for me was trying to figure out what's the real issue here, because one person would say it's this, the other person would say it's that. They would both point fingers at each other most of the time. How
Oh,
do you get beneath that to actually figure out what to work on?
yeah. Well, first of all, most people who see couples have zero training in couples therapy. I trained for 3 years in family therapy, and then I taught family therapy for 25 years. A lot of that wisdom is gone. A lot of that systemic wisdom is gone. So, Tuesday, there are in our first level one training, you learn 7 lenses, 7 diagnostic tools, not psychiatric, relational. And the first is presenting problem. So, Zach, my friend, here is a question I ask every beginning student. How do you find the presenting problem? Here's the answer. Let's not waste time. You don't. It's a trick question. There isn't one presenting problem. There are always two. This keeps me humble. Nobody, in partner A and partner B. They will come to you, and of course, what's my? I'm married almost 40 years. What's my problem? Belinda. What's her problem? Terry. People want deep personality changes in their partner. people bring their partners to you so that we can render them more relational and easier and more satisfying to be with. We were taught, oh, if you want deep character change, farm that out for individual work. No, no, no. In RLT, the couples therapy I've created, we do deep individual work with the other person sitting next to you. So, what's the presenting problem? His and hers in a heterosexual relationship. Our job is to figure out what each of them wants. Magic miracle question. If this were to work, what would you get? How would Zach be different, Mrs. Zach? What exactly would you like to see different? What would you like? And that will tell you what their agenda is for you. To the degree to which I'm making Zach a better husband, she's happy. To the degree I'm making your wife a better partner. And what is better? Well, you define it. So I have to figure out what you want and reassure you that I'm going to be able to deliver. Now, deeper than any of that, what am I thinking? I'm thinking what we call stance, stance, dance. This is couples therapy 101. What do you do that keeps blowing your foot off? And what does that evoke in your partner to do? And I know you're married to a woman, so I'm going to say her, that helps her blow her foot off. And how do these two dysfunctional stances join to create the vicious circle that you and your partner are in?
Mm-hmm.
Your stance, her stance, and the dance, the choreography. Every RLT, but if you come and do this course, by the end of your first session, you will be able to say, Zach, and may I remind me your wife's first name?
Ellie.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Zach and Ellie, here's where you're stuck. That's not true. I'm just making, I'll do the classic. Ellie, the more you pursue, the more Zach withdraws, and the more Zach withdraws, the more. The more you X, the more your partner Ys, the more they Y, the more they X. The blame is on the pattern, not the people. Oh, you two poor guys, just going to eat up everything. I can get you out of this pattern. And the more is a couples therapist report card. To the degree to which Zach is changing his stance and Ellie is changing hers, we're going somewhere. You can have all sorts of insight. You can go and do great trauma work. But if you are not changing your stance, we're not going anywhere. So that is the presenting problem, is the choreography.
And I think that was one of my biggest aha moments when I was learning relational life therapy, which is the therapy for couples that you founded, Relational Life Therapy, was it kind of became clear to me suddenly what to focus on and how to kind of cut through the noise. So one of the reasons we're here today doing this live is actually because Terry's coming over to Pessy and Psychotherapy Networker to do a live 2-day demonstration. It's going to be with a couple that he's never seen before. I can vouch for that. This is a real couple. And over 2 days, he'll be doing 3 full sessions with this couple in front of a live audience, hopefully you. And then in between those sessions, teaching what he's doing and what to look for. And then if you get done with that and you really know that I'd love to at least take the first step to becoming a couples therapist, you can sign up for his level 1 training, which is going to be happening in July. So I encourage you to sign up for this free training. It's completely free. It's normally a rather expensive kind of demonstration training, but we're doing it free. And if you're a therapist, you can sign up. And then if you want to go even further, we've got the next step for you there. So that's going to be happening next Monday and Tuesday. If you want to join, you can sign up right there. Okay. Terry, you specialize in what's known as last chance couples, really couples on the brink who've been through a bunch of therapy before. And you define these couples as the previous therapy didn't stick. They've got highly negative images of each other. They're cloaked in mistrust toward each other. They're not willing to be vulnerable with each other anymore because they don't trust each other. And one or both partners have both had it, with the relationship, and they're here to see you for one last chance. I'm sure nobody out there knows a couple like this.
Oh,
My question is, what's a change that you want to see early on in a couple like this that you might call a last chance couple?
first of all, a change for the couples therapist. Not every one of these couples is symmetrical. We're taught 50-50, everything 50-50, don't ever take sides. Bullshit. Figure out who's got one foot out the door. They're your customer. Now, maybe both, but often it's more one than the other. And then it's really very simple. You want him? I'll make you a gay couple. You want him? Yeah. Do you realize you're about to lose him? Yeah. Okay. You. What does he need to do in order for you to even think about staying here? Well, he needs to this, and this. Great. You. You want to keep him? Yeah. I can help you do this. Yeah, but I know you have, but we'll get to him later. Right now, I'm trying to put the fire out of your burning building. I will land on him just as firmly as I'm landing on you, but you go first. You know why? He's about to leave you. Will you let me help you make the changes you need to save this marriage? Yeah. And then to the ambivalent one, I give you as much room as I possibly can. The great Suzuki Roshi once wrote, to control your cow, give it a wide pasture. I would say to the ambivalent one, there are two gates that have to pass. One, your partner has to completely transform within a matter of a few months. Two, if they do, you have to open your heart and warm up again. You can get through one and not two. That's fine. No guarantees. Will the two of you give me 4 months of intensive work and see if we can save this thing? And almost universally they do. But what we in RLT deliver is dramatic transformational change in a matter of months. Nothing short of that will keep the other person involved.
You have this, and if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at some of the comments here. Samira said, "What about this scenario? After 10 years, one side doesn't want the relationship anymore, but they can't leave out of pity. They just don't really have the sense of, maybe it's they want to leave, but they just feel bad for the other person. It seems like. What do you say to that?"
Bullshit. Welcome to RLT. It is what a horrible reason to stay. I would turn to the other one. I go, I wouldn't even accept a pity fuck, let alone a pity marriage. You want to stay in this marriage for the rest of your life because your partner pities you? That's enough to keep you there? What's up with you? Why are you putting up with that? And I would say to the other partner, if you care about this person, let them free them up so they can be with somebody who actually cares and likes them. You think you're doing them a favor?
Yeah. Samira said it's very common in our culture. So whatever culture Samira comes from, that's a very common experience. And so thank you for the question. In fact,
then we talk about culture as a whole.
Right. Yeah. And I think, that brings up a good point. One of, I think, your major contributions to the field of couples and systems therapy is this thing you call joining through the truth. And maybe we could talk about that for a second. That you confront a couple pretty early on, I've seen, with what you see as the truth. Sometimes within minutes of seeing a couple, I've seen you do it. And there's a lot of therapists and couples therapists alike who are taught to build this strong therapeutic alliance over weeks, sometimes months, and then kind of learn how to tell people the truth. But you start there. How do you get away with confrontation so early? And if you've ever watched Terry work, and hopefully if you join the training next Monday, you will see Terry work live with a brand new couple. How do you get away with confrontation so early on in the therapy? Whereas, without the couple getting mad at you?
Yeah, well, we're really expert at working with issues of grandiosity, which mostly therapy has completely neglected. We've been obsessed with helping people come up from the one down of shame, but we've done a terrible job of helping people come down from the one up of grandiosity. We're afraid of it, we protect it, and we blow a lot of look, again, some couples are symmetrical, but many couples, the one down partner is dragging the one up partner in, and they've had it. You have to help the one up partner come down. We have to deal with difficult truths right out of the starting gate, but we do it with so much love and empathy and rooting for the best part of you. I would say, Zach, when Ellie pursues you, your move is to move further away from you. What have you got against distance? You like being chased? Is that what's going on here? Because the moves you're making are perfect for getting yourself chased. If you really want distance, I can help you take distance, but you have to do it more skillfully than you are.
Hmm.
Uh, this is will you let me help it? And what I'm doing is I'm forming an alliance right out of the gate with the best part of you, prefrontal cortex, the thinking, non-trauma triggered part of you, wise adult, we call it. And it's like, Zach, let's take a look at this immature part of you, the part of you you learned in childhood that's getting you into so much trouble. I can help you do this better. It'll work better. I promise you. Are you interested? This is not who you are. Can over and over again, I will say to somebody, what's sad here is I'm talking to a decent guy who's behaved horribly for 20 years. Will you let me rescue the real you from this crap? Who says no? Any fool can clobber somebody with the truth. The art is telling the truth in a way that's so engaging, so on your side, so forming an alliance with the healthy part of you that you actually feel closer and more trusting because I told you the truth.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
a really good point.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk just a little bit about what people are going to experience next Monday and Tuesday. It's today's June 18th on Wednesday, so this coming Monday and Tuesday. And by the way, if you can't make it live, you'll be able to watch the replay for 14 days. So whether or not you can show up Monday and Tuesday, I know that's coming up. You may have clients to see. You can watch the replay immediately after it's over for the next 2 weeks. So please do that. Please sign up. It just takes an email, and Terry will be able to get you this great training. But what are you going to do, and what are you hoping people will get out of seeing you on Monday?
We thought about just doing an intro to RLT for two
Yeah.
days. It's so damn boring. And then playing all the same tape. This is live ammo. And this is what I do. People fly in from around the world, and I do 2 days with them. At the end of the 2 days, you're either on track or getting a divorce. Which way will this go? I don't know. I'll do my best. We'll see. But it's real. This is a real couple coming in. I'll do a piece. I'll do a general intro about what the hell I think I'm doing. Then we'll put it to the test. Then you'll have a chance to debrief with me, live Q&A. What did you just see me do? We radiate out from that to general principles of RLT. Couple comes back, phase. There are generally, who knows, 3 phases of the work in RLT. First is this loving confrontation. Stance is what each of you are
Mhm.
doing. The second is trauma work. We do deep individual work while the other partner is sitting next to you. Where did you learn this from? Let's go back to your childhood. I was saying adaptive then, maladaptive now. What you learned back then, perfect for back then, but it's destroying your relationship now. Let's do some parts work. Let's do some inner child work. So you may see that it's very deep, it's very emotional. And then the third phase is skill building. Let me teach you how to do it better. Zach, if you're going to take distance, we call this responsible distance. I'm taking distance. Here's why, and here's where I'm coming back. Try that. So, first, here's what you're doing wrong, each of you. Second, where does this come from? Let's do some deep trauma work so you're not flooded all the time, so you can use skills. And then third, when you're centered, here's what to do instead of what you're doing. It's a combination of all three, I think, that produces such change.
Yeah. Well, Terry, thank you so much for your your answers to these questions. Everyone, if you'd like to watch Terry work in a real clinical, like a real classic clinical training where you're actually watching a couple go from start where he's never seen them before, hopefully to finish where their relationship's in a different spot just the very next day. I don't know of too many trainings like this. And so when we kind of came up with this, we knew we wanted to offer it for free because we didn't know when we'd ever be able to do it again. And this is it. And then for those who really want to take the in-depth nuts and bolts training after that and get their level 1 certificate in relational life therapy, there's a real special offer. So even if you sign up and don't even attend the training, you get a little discount to the July cohort of his level 1. So it's really great. Check it out. We've probably said enough about it at this point. Terry, any last words for this live stream?
Come and learn. I mean, look, couples therapy is overwhelming for most of us because we don't know what to do. Nobody's ever taught us. Changing a tire is overwhelming if nobody's ever taught you how to do it. Right? So this is a real map. Do this, then this, then this, then this.
Yeah.
And it does work. It produces transformational change in each of the two partners and the relationship, heals trauma by using the relationship as the crucible for the healing, and elevates people to a level of intimacy, which is what we're all desiring these days, but no one really teaches us how to do it. So,
yeah. Well, thank you, Terry. And for those who don't know Terry Real, he's been around, for a long time. And he's invested so much in so many of the people who founded their own models of therapy. And they've all become friends and invested in this whole community of psychotherapy to help therapists after you leave grad school really do the work. Because we all know you leave grad school, and as Bessel van der Kolk says, you get a license to malpractice. and then you really go out and train and Terry, thank you for everything you've invested in the whole field of therapy. You've come to the Psychotherapy Network Symposium for many, many years, written in the magazine, written great books like this for people to read, both general public and clinicians, and really just invested in the leaders and all of the clinicians across the field. So Terry's a great one to learn from. And if you've never had the chance, this is a great opportunity. We're happy to be able to bring it to you as a nonprofit at Psychotherapy Networker and PESI, and hope you'll be there. So here I think we did enough. We did as much as we could for now. So thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you on Monday.